When you're in a fair to good system, there are certain realities which you face. The system has now achieved the basics of literacy and numeracy. Now the question is, what kind of structure does the system need in order to have the appropriate foundations to get to the next level of quality improvement? This means looking at things like data, particularly with regards to national student assessment data or school evaluation data. Looking at things like the funding model and how funding is allocated across schools of different types. At the system structure and looking at how the system is actually organized. And lastly, looking at things like the learning model and understanding what types of tracks are going to be offered to students or what is the language of instruction. All of these structural and foundational decisions are absolutely critical during the fair to good journey. And Louisiana offers an instructive example of how to navigate that.
In Louisiana, we have pretty much been in the bottom, both on grad rate and on dropout rates.
It's one of the poorest states in the country in terms of the kinds of kids who go to public school.
We're failing too many kids. We are failing too many kids.
Delivery is a process for deciding what you value and creating a way of measuring your progress against that.
We're going to have just a small number of people who are going to be responsible for very measurable goals.
It is agnostic about the strategy. It is dogmatic about we only measure and focus on things that represent outcomes for children. We're interested in data that can inform action.
Leading indicators allow a teacher or a principal or any school leader to feel that they have actual impact on the student they see in front of them, and students are no longer a number at the end of the year that says, I wish I could have.
The delivery unit analyzed it independently. They interacted with the program people. They suggested changes that the program people wouldn't have even thought of because they're in the middle of it.
It is necessary that the delivery unit not be invested in any of the particular program. There has to be somebody who is looking at them, challenging them, evaluating them, trying to make them better, who doesn't love them, who loves them only as long as they're the best currently available vehicle for helping the kids.
My job is not to see that a regulation is met. My job is to make outcomes for kids different.
We now have a combined concerted effort on everyone moving to reach the goal.
In Louisiana, we have teens that are working teens, pregnant teens, teen moms, and just to be quite honest, teens that don't want to show up to school.
Out of 48,000 first-time freshmen, 17,000 of those students were overaged.
It's very discouraging for a child to get to high school already 17 and to expect that they're going to have the same mindset as a 14-year-old that's starting high school. So we knew we had to do something differently.
I was 17 as a freshman, yeah. I looked at everybody, they was just looking at me like he looked like a grown man.
Nationwide, education budgets are tight. And so instead of saying we can invest in 16 programs, we need to look at the programs that are actually making the difference, that provide the outcomes, and say, here is a program that we know is going to make a difference for students in Louisiana.
You start with an inventory. What all do you have? What's the best current evidence on how much improvement that thing drives? And how many kids are we planning to get that service out to? Some of them are going to drop out pretty quickly because there's no real credible evidence that they actually help. Some of these programs are just tiny. They're not affecting enough kids to make any difference. How do you get these schools that made minimal or no gains to look more like the schools that made big gains? And we cumulatively map those things. And so we can end up with a best case estimate where we can go forward to the superintendent, to the legislature, to the governor. Our trajectories are always expressed in kids, not in percentages, not in any kind of abstract number, numbers of students who will be successful, because educators and parents and elected officials can resonate to that.
The Accelerated Student Achievement Pathway says, let's let a student get caught up on their reading and math skills, provide interventions for them to get them caught up, and then let's let them move at their own pace.
If I could tell the majority of them, hey, we have a program that's going to get you out of school quicker. Then they see a light at the end of the tunnel. Because I find with a lot of kids that are at risk, they don't see a light at the end of the tunnel.
It makes you want to work faster because you know you can get out faster. I mean, who wants to be in high school forever, so.
So within the first 18 months that the program has been established, we've actually grown the population from around 600 students to roughly 2,000 kids in grades 9 through 12, with 3/4 of those kids being on track to graduation.
It's the highest increase we've ever seen since we started collecting cohort grad rate data.
The program is very good. It helps you work out everything at your own pace.
So we know not only are we affecting getting more students to graduation, we're actually decreasing the number of students who are dropping out of school. And those all translate to a difference for Louisiana's economic future.
There's a group of kids who arrived in kindergarten or first grade this fall, and this will be their one and only shot at this year of their life.
We've got to get them on board fast because our children don't have a year to lose.
You know, we're at 83% free and reduced lunch. We have kids that work for the tennis shoes. Culture is a big thing. They have to feel like they can do it. They have to feel like we care. You know, there's an old saying that they don't care how much you know unless they know how much you care.
And when I came out here, they really cared if I passed because they wanted to see me go on and do better things with my life.
We do realize we have a long way to go, but however, we're getting there. The students here, they are feeling success. Success is in the air, it's here.
Holding them accountable, reporting to the superintendent, that strategy can be employed anywhere. Executing that strategy is different from place to place, but the strategy is a winning strategy.
If you do it right, an extra kid will graduate, an extra kid will be literate, and an extra kid will pass their math proficiencies. And you'll be on the journey. You will have started playing from where the ball laid today.
If there's one thing that we hope that system leaders extract from this work, is that improvement is indeed possible. We have seen systems from a variety of starting points, and often very difficult starting points, nonetheless be able to achieve significant gains for their school systems. Is it difficult? Yes. Is it possible? Equally yes.